Book 2, The King Who Burned His Throne, a manual of tantric integration. Introduction. The danger of waking up. The prince was awake. He had broken the mirror. He had eaten his shadow. He knew with absolute clarity that he was the space in which the world happened. But he had a problem. He was light, but he had no heat. He was vast, but he was thin. He floated above the ground, transparent and ghostly. He had realized the spirit Shiva, but he had not yet met the power Shakti. To be a king, it is not enough to see the throne, you must sit on it, and the throne of this universe is made of fire. This is the story of how the prince fell out of the sky and crashed into the earth. Chapter 1, The Burning Ground. Anybody walked away from the shattered sky. He felt clear, but he felt cold. The path did not lead to a palace. It led down into a valley filled with grey fog. The smell hit him first. It was the smell of sulfur, old meat, and wet ash. He stepped into a graveyard that stretched to the horizon. There were no tombstones, only piles of white dust and burning pyres. Sitting in the center of the ash was a circle of 12 sisters. They were beautiful, but it was a beauty that hurt to look at. Their skin was the color of storm clouds. Their hair was tangled with roots. They were feasting on a pile of dry bones. The first sister saw him. She smiled, revealing teeth made of black iron. "A guest," she shrieked. Her voice sounded like a violin string snapping. "Come, prince, sit, eat." "I am not hungry," said anybody. "We are," said the second sister. She reached out a hand with 12 fingers and grabbed anybody's wrist. Her grip was stronger than gravity. "We are the mothers of time," she hissed, "and we require payment for passing through our land." "I have no money," said anybody. "I have no possessions." "We do not eat money," said the third sister. "We eat history." She opened her mouth. It was impossibly wide. She lunged forward and bit anybody on the shoulder. She didn't take flesh. She didn't take blood. She took memory. Zip. Instantly anybody forgot his childhood. He forgot the color of his mother's eyes. He forgot the name of his first dog. The files were deleted from his brain. "Delicious," the sister purred, swallowing the years. "Stop," anybody screamed. "That is mine." "Nothing is yours," said the fourth sister. "It was only borrowed." She bit his other shoulder. Zip. He forgot his victories. He forgot the time he climbed the mountain. He forgot the sorcerer. He forgot the taste of the shadow. He forgot he was a prince. "Please," anybody wept, falling to his knees. "If you take my past, who am I?" "Let us see," said the fifth sister. She bit him on the chest. She ate his future. She ate his hopes of becoming a king. She ate his fear of dying. She ate the promise of tomorrow. Now anybody was truly naked. He had no name. He had no story. He had no yesterday to prop him up. He had no tomorrow to pull him forward. He was just a trembling point of awareness stuck in the terrible, burning now. The 12 sisters circled him. They raised their hands stained with ash. "He is ready," they chanted. "He is empty enough to burn." They picked him up and threw him onto the largest pyre. The fire roared. It wasn't orange, it was black. Anybody screamed as the flames licked his skin. He waited for the pain. He waited for the end. But the fire didn't burn his skin. It burned the invisible ropes that had been tying him to the earth. It burned the heavy coat of being someone. He lay in the flames, curling into a ball. For the first time in his life, he was not waiting for anything. He was not trying to become anything. He was just burning. And in the center of the fire, he realized that the heat was not pain. The heat was love, a ferocious, devouring love that refused to let him be anything less than ash. Chapter 2, The Electric Snake. Anybody rose from the pile of ash. He was made of smoke. He was light as a feather, but he was ungrounded. The wind blew him like a dry leaf. "I am too light," he whispered. "I need weight." "You need a spine," whispered the wind. "You must plug the sky into the mud." Anybody looked ahead. Rising out of the scorched earth was a tower. It was built of white vertebrae spiraling up into the dark storm clouds. It hummed with a low, dangerous vibration. He entered the tower. There were no stairs. There was only a hollow shaft that went down into the magma of the earth. At the bottom of the shaft lay a sleeping snake. It was thick as a tree trunk. It glowed with a neon green light. It breathed slowly, and every time it exhaled, the tower shook. "Wake her," said the wind. "She will kill me," said anybody. "Yes," said the wind. "She will kill the ghost so the god can be born. Step on her." Anybody closed his eyes. He dropped from the ledge. He landed on the snake's head. Hiss. The The snake didn't bite him, it entered him. It shot up through the soles of his feet like a bolt of liquid lightning. ZZZZT. It hit the base of his spine with the force of a hammer. Snap. Anybody's back arched. His jaw locked. His eyes rolled back. This was not the gentle warmth of the mirrors. This was the violence of resurrection. The snake rushed up his spine, melting the vertebrae, fusing them into a rod of light. Click, click, click. It hit his belly. Burn. The hunger for food vanished, replaced by a hunger for stars. The fire in his gut turned white-hot. It hit his heart. Boom. The ribcage cracked open. The heart didn't beat. It fluttered like a hummingbird trapped in a box. The walls of his chest blew out to let the universe in. Let it out, screamed the wind. Anybody threw his head back. The energy rushed into his throat. He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came out. Only the roar, the sound of 1,000 waterfalls, the sound of the blood rushing in the ears of a giant. OMMMMM. The current hit the top of his skull. The roof of the tower blew off. The skull split open like an egg. The sky poured in. The rain poured in. But it wasn't water. It was nectar. Cool, thick silver syrup dripped down from the clouds, coating his burning brain, soothing his scorched nerves. It tasted like moonlight. It tasted like silence. Anybody drank the sky. He swallowed the storm. He stood in the ruin of the tower, his feet rooted in the magma, his head open to the cosmos, vibrating like a tuning fork that had just been struck by God. He was no longer a prince. He was a lightning rod. Chapter 3. The golden chain. Anybody walked out of the tower. He was glowing. His skin buzzed. When he walked, the grass turned green under his feet. He sat by a river to cool down. The water sizzled when he touched it. A young man stumbled out of the woods. He was carrying a backpack the size of a house. It was strapped to his shoulders with heavy iron chains. He was sweating, weeping, crushed by the weight. His knees were buckling. He saw anybody. He saw the glow. "Save me," the boy cried, collapsing in the mud. "Are you the king? Can you help me?" Anybody looked at the boy. He didn't see a boy. He saw a library of noise. He saw a nervous system tied in 1,000 knots. He saw a heart beating against the ribs like a prisoner banging on a cell door. "What is in the pack?" asked anybody. "My sins," sobbed the boy. "My trauma, my mistakes. The people I hurt, the people who hurt me. It is the weight of the world." "Take it off me," begged the boy. "Please, I can't carry it another step." Anybody sat still. "I cannot take it off," he said. "Why?" cried the boy. "You are powerful, you are glowing." "I am not a donkey," said anybody. "I am a match." "You are not carrying that backpack, you are gripping it." "I'm not," shouted the boy. "It's strapped to me." "Stand up," commanded anybody. The boy struggled to his feet, the heavy load trembling on his back. Anybody stood up. He walked over to the boy. "Close your eyes." The boy closed his eyes. Anybody didn't offer comfort. He didn't whisper sweet words. He placed his hand on the center of the boy's chest, and he transmitted the shock. He poured the voltage of the electric snake directly into the boy's heart. He projected the silence of the tower into the noise of the boy's mind. Crack! The boy gasped. His eyes flew open. The jolt bypassed his mind and hit his nervous system. The muscles of his ego spasmed. The grip broke. The chains shattered. The backpack fell, thud. The ground shook. The boy shot upward. Without the weight, he was light as helium. He floated 3 feet off the ground. He laughed. It was a hysterical, terrifying laugh. "I am flying," he shouted. "I am free, I am nothing." He looked down at the massive backpack sitting in the mud. "I hate it," he spat. "Burn it." "No," said anybody. The boy stopped floating. He looked at anybody with confusion. "What? Come down," said anybody. The boy drifted down to the grass. "Pick it up," said anybody. "No," cried the boy. "It will crush me." "Pick it up," said anybody. "Put it on." The boy trembled. Slowly, terrified, he lifted the pack. He strapped it on. He stood up. He blinked. It's light," whispered the boy. "It's empty." "It was always empty," said anybody. "It was only heavy because you thought it was you." "Now," said anybody, pointing to the woods. "Go where?" "Go find someone carrying a heavy load," said anybody, "and touch their chest." "But I don't know how," said the boy. "You don't need to know," said anybody. "You just need to burn. You are the next link in the golden chain. Do not break it." Chapter 4. The spoken world. Anybody walked into the desert of silence. He was free, he was powerful, he was bored. "It is nice to be the void," anybody said to the empty sand. "But I think I would like a chair." He closed his eyes, he used his mind, he visualized a chair, he pushed with his will, a pier, he thought. He opened his eyes, sand. "No chair, you are doing it backward," said a voice. It wasn't a spoken voice, it was a melody. Anybody turned around. Standing behind him was a woman made entirely of vibrating strings. She shimmered like heat haze. She was the weaver. "You are trying to push the world," she hummed. Her voice tasted like cinnamon. "Kings do not push, kings speak." "How?" asked anybody. "The mind cuts," she said. "The throat creates. The throat is the womb of space. Whatever vibrates here solidifies out there." He handed him a small grey stone. "Turn this into a flower," she commanded. Anybody stared at the stone. "Flower," he said. Nothing happened. "Words are dead shells," laughed the weaver. "Do not say the label, vibrate the equation." "I don't know the equation," said anybody. "Feel it," she said. "Find the feeling of a flower opening in your chest. Find the softness, find the scent." Anybody closed his eyes. He felt the unfolding. He felt the white petals. "Now," she whispered, "groan it out." Anybody opened his mouth. He didn't speak. He let the feeling rise from his belly into his larynx. Ah-hum, the sound vibrated in his skull. It vibrated in his hand. The stone shivered. The atoms danced. The grey rock unspooled like yarn and rewove itself to the beat of his voice. Pop, the stone vanished. In his hand lay a white rose. It was soft. It was wet with dew. "Now," smiled the weaver, "roar the world." Anybody looked at the empty desert. He wanted a castle. He didn't think about bricks. He thought about weight. He thought about protection. He thought about stone. He opened his mouth. He didn't breathe air. He inhaled the silence of the desert. He roared. It was a low, grinding sound, the sound of tectonic plates moving, the sound of mountains rising. Grrrrum. The air shimmered. The heat waves bent. The sand began to swirl. It rose up in pillars. It hardened. Out of the nothingness, the castle formed, solid, heavy, and real, vibrated into existence by the command of his throat. Anybody sat on his new throne. He touched the cold stone armrest. He realized the terrible truth. The world was not something he lived in. The world was a sentence he was speaking. Chapter 5. The Great Eraser. Anybody sat in his castle. He was the king of creation. He had spoken a feast into existence. He had spoken music into the air. He had spoken a garden of crystal flowers. He had everything, and he felt heavy. The castle was solid. The walls were thick. The roof blocked the sky. "I am trapped again," he whispered. "I have built another cage." The heavy oak doors of the throne room creaked open. A small child walked in. The child was barefoot. He wore simple white clothes. In his hand he held a pink rubber eraser. "Who are you?" demanded anybody. "I did not speak you." "No," said the child. "I was here before you spoke. I am the editor. What do you want?" "The story is too long," said the child. "It is dragging. It is time to make some space." The child walked up to a massive stone pillar. He rubbed the eraser against the granite. Rub, rub. The stone didn't crumble. It didn't explode. It simply ceased to be. It turned into white space. "Stop," shouted anybody. "I made that. It is my masterpiece. And now I am unmaking it," said the child. "Creation is the inhale. Destruction is the exhale. You have been holding your breath for 1,000 years." The child erased the pillar. The roof groaned. The child erased the feast. The table vanished. The child walked toward the throne. "Leave me alone," cried anybody. "I am the king." The child smiled. It was a smile of infinite compassion. "You are not the king," said the child. "You are the ink and I am the paper." The child reached out and touched the castle walls. Swipe. Gone. The child touched the floor. Swipe. Gone. Anybody floated in the white void. There was no ground. There was no sky. The child walked on the air toward him. The child raised the eraser. "Are you ready?" asked the child. "No," whispered anybody. "I am afraid to disappear." "You will not disappear," said the child. "Only the you will disappear." The child rubbed the eraser across anybody's chest. The velvet robe vanished. The skin vanished. The heart vanished. The name anybody dissolved like sugar in hot water. There was no scream. There was no darkness. There was only the white page, infinite, silent, waiting, and on the page a single new sentence appeared, written in invisible ink. "What happens next is up to you."